Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 7 over-unders to bet. We've been hot. Let's keep it going. Let's go right into it. We're going to London. We got the Los Angeles Rams at the Jacksonville Jags versus in London, obviously. Over, under 44.5. I'm going to go under, and I feel pretty strongly about it. And we led off last week's video with a money pick in London, and I'm going to go under. I just feel like we have better things on the board when we talk about the totals. But I'm looking at a Rams offense without Puka Nacua, and I'm wondering, are they going to be able to function? Are they going to be able to just get used to playing in London? And I don't mean to just throw out that argument and be lazy, but we've seen time and time again teams come out sloppy, especially the first half when they're playing overseas. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure the travel doesn't help, and we hear them complain about stuff as crazy as the toilet paper in London. So people are looking for excuses, and I think the Rams have an excuse here. Also, they're just not playing great offensive football. Let's be honest about it. And I got to be honest, I would money pick the team total for the Rams under 24.5. Unfortunately, it moved up to minus 130. So just keep that in mind. On the other side, I mean, this is a Jags offense that is pretty good, but we know they're limited. We know they have problems, and we know they're going to have issues with this Rams defensive line. They had issues with the Seahawks defensive line. Now imagine Jared Verse coming at you for 60 minutes. Give me the under 44.5, and I like the 24.5 under for the Rams. I just don't like the minus 130. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs. Over, under 45.5. Money, money, money. Borderline. This is a borderline over because firstly, it's the Raiders. And secondly, we don't know what type of Chiefs team we see. And when I say what type of Chiefs team we see, this has been a team that is known to play down the opposition. And we saw, Black Friday last year. They just completely laid an egg against a Raiders team. But let's just imagine the Chiefs come in with a C+, B- performance. They are going to tear apart this secondary of the Las Vegas Raiders, and I think they're going to need a throw because I can't see them running the ball well. I'm not sold on Pacheco getting back to form. I know Kareem Hunt had a really good run against the Lions. I'm just not sold on that. I think Patty's going to have to sling it, and this Chiefs team is well equipped to do it against the Raiders secondary that isn't really good. On the other side, I mean, this team total for the Raiders opened at 16.5. Am I crazy? Am I sipping copium? Are my Raiders fans making me a little bit too punch drunk here? I think the Raiders get into the 20s. And I don't have a lot of science here, but one thing I have to offer is that the Tennessee Titans are a good team to get you going. You know, sometimes when you're in a slump, you haven't got laid in a long time, you just need the Titans in front of you, and then you knock one down and you start knocking more down. And I don't think this Raiders offense was as bad as the performances we've seen them exhibit earlier in the year. So I think the Raiders get into the 20s here, and I think the Chiefs get to at least 27, 30 points. I'm going over the 45.5, obviously a borderline money pick because we don't know what the Raiders offense is going to do, let's be honest. But I think this Chiefs defense is vulnerable, and I think it's the worst Chiefs defense we've seen in the Reed, Spagnuolo, Patty era. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Cleveland Browns. Over, under 40.5. Money, money, money. I like this one. I'm going under. You say Dylan Gabriel, I say under. I'm not saying it's like a DTR situation, but some of the positions Kevin Stefanski is leaving him in are just reprehensible. And I just love how Kevin Stefanski gets glazed because of that 1 year where Flacco went off when the team had a top 5 roster. I just love how he gets glazed and he lives off that reputation, yet he lets a young kid throw 50 fucking times on the road against the Steelers' defensive line with an offensive line that's built to go forward. And guys, I'm not exaggerating. I felt like the Browns were in empty sets the whole game, whether the game was close within one possession, which it was for a lot of the game, or whether when it was in the fourth quarter when they were chasing 2 possessions down, they were in empty the whole game, and it was really obvious play calling. They would get 3 tight ends on first down, they'll run it for 4 yards, and then they'll go to empty and they'll throw it 2 times. Like, that's how the game went, and it was just absolutely pitiful offensive game planning from Kevin Stefanski. And say what you will about Shadur, say what you will about Dylan Gabriel, I'm not going to chime in on that debate. I'm going to let it play out. But what Kevin Stefanski did to Dylan Gabriel, needs to be talked about. I know no one watches the Browns, but I watched that game and I felt like it was fucking disgusting. But I do feel like the Browns are going to run the ball. And if there's ever a time to get Jenkins going, if there's ever a time to get Ford going, it's against this Miami front 7. I mean, look at the player prop show. Vidal's player prop was over under 30.5 rushing yards. He fucking did 13 carries for $130. I swear to God. So I just don't think this Dolphins front 7 can stop anyone running the football. Running the football kills clock, and I just don't know how much Dylan Gabriel has to offer. On the other side, I don't know how much Tua has to offer. And that's even before we throw into the big monkey wrench that is the Browns defense, that tour de force that's going to be coming at him in waves. Now, I know the Browns play a lot of man-to-man. And I know, too, it can get it out fast, and you still have guys like Waddle, Malik Washington, Achane, who can hit you with explosive plays. But with that being said, I just see a 20-21-17 win for the Browns, 40.5 under. I feel like it's too high. I feel like maybe this should be fuck, guys. I feel like it should be 38.5. Give me the Browns and Fins under 40.5. Money pick of the week in terms of the over-unders. Next game, we got the New England Patriots at the Tennessee Titans. Over-under 42.5. I'm going to go over because I see a Patriots offensive explosion. But listen, I'm happy Brian Callahan's out, and I'm happy Cam Ward has a new voice in his ear. But Mike McCoy dialing up the plays just isn't something I want to get behind. I'm going over more so because the Titans' defense is ass. Over 42.5, no science. Next game, we got the New Orleans Saints at the Chicago Bears. The Bears, over, under 47. I'm going to go over because I think this Bears defense is fugazi, and we already know the Saints defense, listen, they have their issues, especially in the secondary. And I think Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson will have a good game plan, and I think we'll see points. But I also think the Saints are going to be able to run it, and I think Kellen Moore is starting to feel more comfortable with the Spencer Rattler situation, and you're seeing him let Spencer air it out more every week. And honestly, when you got Shaheed, when you got Olave, when you got Kamara coming out of the backfield on option routes, why not air it out, especially if you can protect? And I think they'll be able to protect against the Chicago Bears defensive line that, there's a lot of money invested, but is there anyone who scares you? Does Sweat scare you? Does an old wash Grady Jarrett scare you? Not really to me. I'm going over the 47. Next game, we got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Minnesota Vikings. Over, under 43.5. I'm going under. Guys, I have no science. Have absolutely no science on this one. Next game, we got the Carolina Panthers at the New York Jets. Over, under 42.5. I'm going to go under. But can we just talk about the team total for the Jets? Now, I was on Pinnacle. They're giving a minus 140 for under team total 23.5 for the Jets. Like, obviously, minus 140 isn't what we want to do, but if you can get the minus 10 for the 21.5 team total for the Jets, I think that would be something you should look at. I also like the under for the game. One thing I mentioned, one guy got mad at me. He said, Lawson, like, you changed. Like, he kind of pretty much said I was a pussy. I just mentioned Bryce Young's home road splits just so people know that, you know, I think Carolina's going to win the game. I think Carolina will be productive in the game. But I also want to just be realistic. Like, Bryce Young has been just absolutely heinous on the road, and he could be a non-functioning entity. But even if he's a non-functioning entity, I still think Carolina can win the game. But I still have to put that out there and let the viewers know before they bet. Like, what the fuck you want me to do? Like, say the Panthers are going to roll the Jets by 30? Like, I think it's going to be a close game, and I think Carolina wins. And I'm just going to go under here because I think the Jets defense played better against the Broncos. And I also think this Carolina Panthers run defense is for real. And I don't think the Jets can pass. Now, Tyrod Taylor could come in midway through this game and just throw an absolute monkey wrench on it. I think so, but there's no Garrett Wilson. And you're throwing to, like, guys like Adam Lazard. And like, dude, just look at the receivers on the roster. It's bad. I'm going under the 42.5. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the Los Angeles Chargers. Over, under 48.5. I'm going over the 48.5. But I believe one of the times we money picked the Colts team total is at 23.5. Guys, if they keep giving us Colts team total 23.5, we have to go over. But I do think this game goes over. Colts defense is banged up, and I think Herbert, I don't think this offensive line can protect, but one thing we know about the Colts, they have no edge rushers that can really beat you. The Chargers have a big weakness at right tackle that is glaring, so even if Alt plays, he's going to slot in on the left. So I still think it's a glaring weakness for the Chargers offensive line that is makeshift, and that's me being nice about it. So I think the game goes over because we have two quarterbacks who are playing with freedom and liberty. And I'm looking at Daniel Jones, and I know this Chargers defense is game. They're very well coached with Mike Minter. We get it. They're down for the fight. We know what we're going to get from a Chargers defense when Derwin James is out there. Like, we get it. But I also feel like this Chargers defense is vulnerable, and I feel like the Colts will be able to run it, and I feel like Daniel Jones will have time in the pocket, and his targets are playing at a pretty high level. We saw Warren go off the first two drives last week against the Cardinals, and we finally saw Josh Downs more involved. That makes me even more bullish on the Colts. I'm going Colts over team total 23.5, over for the 48.5 in the game. Next game, we got the New York Giants dart at the Denver Broncos, over under 40. I'm going under. Not a lot of science. It's just because I just think I question how much the Giants can do offensively in this game. I question if this Giants offensive line, I know they're playing spirited ball ever since Dart came in for Russell Wilson. But I do question, like, what they can do against the Broncos defensive line that is just fucking vicious and top 5 in the league, and a Broncos secondary that is just relentless. And I love Wan'Dale Robinson more than any man on this earth. I think he's a very good, underrated receiver in this league. Can hit you in the slot, can hit you in the X. Like, I love Wan'Dale Robinson, but come on, man, like, there's not a lot of targets for the Giants, and I'm not sure they're going to be able to run the ball, and Dart can do some things, but also, like, the way Dart plays, I don't like talking about injuries when we make bets, but I think he can go down at any time, and if Russell Wilson comes in, it's fucking game over. I'm going under the 40, and also this Broncos offense, like, I know the Giants defense has had their fair share of issues, and I don't even know what the problem is. Like, run defense has been bad, but also, like, they dropped 2 or 3 coverages in the secondary a game. So But with that being said, the Broncos have been no rose on offense themselves. I'm going under the 40. Next game, we got the Washington no-names at the Dallas Cowboys, over under 55. I'm going to go under. Like, I know the Cowboys can't play defense, but I also think the Commanders are going to run it a ton like the Panthers did. And that Panthers-Cowboys game really went by fast. And for a game with a lot of offense, there was limited possessions. That's why I'm leaning under. I don't have a lot of science. Honestly, with this game, and I'm still thinking about this game, and I told you guys on Tuesday I'm going to do a separate video on it. You guys know I like what the Cowboys have offered on offense this year, and I'm the biggest Jayden Daniels fan there is. I just don't know how to get a read on these two teams. I'm going to have to watch some of these Commanders games over and do a separate video on it. As of right now, I'm going under 55 for the Cowboys Commanders. I'm having a hard time getting a read on the Commanders. And I'm having a hard time thinking it's fucking possible the Cowboys' run defense can be as bad as what they exhibited against the Panthers, because the Cowboys' run defense has been fucking pretty solid. I mean, they were solid against Josh Jacobs and a good Packers offensive line. So I need to think about that game more. Next game, we got the Green Bay Packers. At the Arizona Cardinals, over under 44.5. I'm going under. It's because I don't love this Packers offense. I just don't. Not a lot of science. Next game, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the San Francisco 49ers, over under 47.5. Money, money, money. Fred Warner out, Bosa out. Bijan Robinson running crazy on Monday night against the Bills. You think I'm going over, right? No, I'm going under. Make it a damn money pick. I don't love the way Penix is playing football. And the game flow worked out great for him. Zach Robinson had a great game plan. Credit for what he did against the Bills as offensive coordinator. But I just don't love the way Penix is playing. And for me, when I look at the 49ers, even without Bosa, even without Warner, I feel like their run fits are good. I feel like Bob Saleh has brought a lot of fight and vigor and verb to this defense, even with all the injuries. And I feel like you have to throw it against the 49ers because they have no pass rush. And I just don't know if the Falcons are equipped to do that. I'm not saying the 49ers are going to hold the Falcons under like 100 yards rushing. No, but I don't think it's going to be a big explosion for 150 plus rushing yards. But also on the other side, this is the Falcons defense that's getting a lot of pressure on quarterbacks. And we don't know if it's going to be Mac. We don't know if it's going to be Brock. But I love the way Mac's playing, but I did mention when we bet the Bucs last week, when you do put pressure on Mac Jones, he dips quite a bit. Like, he's a good quarterback, but when you put pressure on him, the true difference between Purdy and Mac Jones shows. Although I think Mac Jones played a dignified game against the Bucs. But with that being said, there's a lot of problems on the 49ers offense. It looks like they're getting Kittle and Pearsall back, but I'm still going the under 47.5. And the 49ers haven't gotten the run game going yet. So I'm not sure that's going to happen this week, even though the Falcons are vulnerable against the run. And I do think the 49ers are going to run it a lot, which plays into the over-under. Next game, we got the Tampa Bay Bucs at the Detroit Lions, over under 52.5. I'm going to go under. Guys, I don't have a lot of science. I just think the Bucs are too banged up on offense, whether it be a backup center playing right tackle, whether it be all the receivers are injured. Like, we're seeing Mike Evans might come back, but guys, like, Egbuka is more important than Mike Evans at this point, especially with Mike Evans nursing that hamstring. you have to be careful. And the Bucs have to be thinking Super Bowl because you don't want to blow your load like the Lions did last year. Remember, the Lions really should have won the Super Bowl last year, but by the time they got to playoffs, everyone was on fucking IR. And when you have a player over 30 like Mike Evans who keeps getting hamstring injuries, man, like, you got to be cautious with it. So I don't think he's going to have Mike Evans. Bucky's not coming back. Offensive line injuries galore. Listen, Baker's been phenomenal, and Baker came through for us last week. But I just think the Bucs are going to be looking ahead to the Saints on the bye week. That's my science in this game. I'm going under the 52.5. And also, Todd Bowles is going to have that defense ready to go. Next game, and Monday Night Football. I like this one. Texans at Hawks. I'm going under the 41. I think it opened at 42, and I wanted to money pick it. And listen, I just see a 21-17 win for the Hawks. And I got to be honest, though, I don't know what Texans offense we're going to see. And I'm a Stroud believer, a Stroud glazer, and it came through for us against the Ravens. So I want to just approach this one with a lot of caution, and I don't want to jump to categorizations about the Texans offense. But the Seahawks defense is good. This Seahawks offense is good. But this Texans defense is elite, so I'm going under the 41. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet. Let's get this money. Thank you for sharing the videos. I really appreciate it.